Welcome to the Quantum Revenue Expansion Podcast. My name is Ursula, and I'm a sales expert, strategic business coach, and USA Today bestselling author. I love sharing strategies that show you exactly how to turn your annual revenue into your monthly revenue. If you're looking to take a quantum leap in your revenue or sales, your team, your productivity, your success, and your life, then you are meant to be here. My goal in every episode is to help you take your belief that it's possible to 2x or 10x your revenue while working way less to knowing that it is happening right now.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Shyann Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Shyann Malone. You are watching another edition of The Small Business Show. Every business owner wants to double their business's revenue, right? While at the same time, working a little less, don't we all? Today, we're going over 5 strategies that will transform the way you work. And joining us now to talk more about this very topic, we have entrepreneur, business strategist, sales expert, and author, Ursula Menchez. And she has a podcast episode on this very topic. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Shyann. Yeah, so I love talking about revenue, quantum revenue expansion, and a lot of our entrepreneurs that show up in our world want to know how can I double my sales and how can I do it by working less?
And Ursula, tell us about the 5 steps to working smarter, not harder.
Yeah, 5 key things. So number 1, upgrade your revenue container. And I mean, have a clear revenue goal on how to get there. That becomes your plan to reverse engineer how to get there. Second, you got to release those limiting beliefs, especially my mom friends out there, all the women, there's a lot of limiting beliefs that, or the belief that if I double my business, I'm going to be working all the time. And Lord knows we don't have more time for that, right? Third, make the decision that no matter what, you're going to get there. So once you're like, yes, I want to double my sales, you got to be all in. Make the decision. It's going to happen. The next steps will show up. I'm going to take them. Fourth, you got to market. We share with all of our clients to market consistently. Have 3 ways that you can market consistently every single week, month, etc. And finally, super important, create intentional and connected sales conversations that convert.
What are some common mistakes entrepreneurs make when they're trying to grow business?
So not hiring soon enough is one of the biggest mistakes, like trying to do it all themselves, because then you think you created a company, but you created a job that you really don't like, right? It's just you're working all the time. So the belief is that hiring someone's going to be really expensive, or I'm going to have to train them, or no one can do what I do. And the truth is you could hire a virtual assistant that's really popular right now, virtual assistant for just 5 hours a week to get started. Get some of those things off your plate. And once you start to do, I guarantee you're going to want to get a lot more off your plate.
Any other tips for business owners that are looking to work less?
Yeah. So I have a client who is a mom and she only wanted to work 25 hours a week, but she wanted to double her sales. And she's gone from $8,000 a month, so a 6-figure business, to on her way to almost $50,000 a month in recurring revenue, all while maintaining her 25-hour work week, 25-hour, work week. She did that because she had a clear schedule. And here's the thing. And it helps. One of the things that can be an advantage is having kids, because you have to be done at a certain time to go pick your kids up. So she's like, I want to be able to drop my daughter off and pick my daughter up. And these are the only times I can work. So we built her schedule around those 5 hours a week. Well, guess what? Anyone can do that. So build an intentional schedule that you really want, not one that's going to run you.
Any key takeaways that you want to leave people with today?
One of my coaches once said to me, Ursula, there is always a way. And that has stuck with me through everything. So those days when you feel like there's not a way for me to double my sales, or I have to work this much or whatever, that's not truth. There is always a way to create the business that you want and to work less.
I'm curious, what advice do you give for those who want a successful career and family? How do you balance all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think there's a limiting belief that if you make a lot of money, you have to work all the time. So I think to ask yourself, what's not true about that? Dispel that limiting belief. When you can find 3 things or more that aren't true about that limiting belief, it'll start to fall away. And the truth is, you find that really successful people, they're spending time at the spa, on a golf course, volunteering. They got it figured out because they have a team handling all those things that they really shouldn't be doing.
Ursula, when it comes to your personal journey, did you find that you were working too much? And what did you do to implement these types of strategies?
Yeah, it's a great question. I ran somebody else's company, so I had to build a team in that company. And then when I left, a CFO, a controller. I had this huge team, and then I had my own company, right? And I was doing everything. And so when you start your own company and you leave, especially if you've left the corporate world, you realize number one, you can't do it all yourself. But number two, if you try to, you're going to be working all the time. So I did the same thing that most entrepreneurs do, especially women. I was trying to do all the things. And so I finally followed my own advice and hired my first VA. And since then have continued to grow my team.
I imagine, Ursula, it seems like at some point, sometimes it's tough to get control as a business owner. What do you recommend?
Yeah, it's interesting. What I've noticed is it's way easier for our male counterparts, like my husband who had his own business for a while. It was way easier for him to hire than it was for me. And I looked at that as like, as women, somehow we're socialized and programmed to think that not only can we do it all, we have to do it all. We've got all this programming. And so undoing the social programming that as a woman, your value is in that you have to make everybody happy and you have to do it all. That's a lie. Your value is in impact, and it's hard to make an impact when you're doing the work, all the work and all the things. So when you hire your team, grow the team and grow the revenue in your company, you can make a much bigger impact. And so I find that when I remind myself of that or remind my clients of that, it's much easier for them to delegate.
How do you find that right person and or right team?
Oh, such a good question. Oh, like I've been blessed by a lot of great coaches. And some of the best advice that I ever got that I followed was to remember that the opportunities you have open at your company are actually someone's dream job. And it took
Ooh.
me a while. I was like, because we think we like what we like and everybody must like that. No, like there are people who love behind the scenes work. And it took me a minute to figure that out. So today, when I put a job description together, I build it like it's a dream job for someone. In fact, the last person that we hired full time, she emailed me. She said, "This is my dream job."
Oh,
And I
wow.
thought, "Oh my gosh." And she has proven over and over that it is her dream job every single day.
You did mention at one point getting coaching. Is that something that you recommend for others as well?
Yes, and I wish I would have started like hired a coach sooner, especially when I was alone in the corporate world on my own. I wish I would have had a coach. I am a coach. I believe in the world of coaching, and I found out pretty quickly that statistically you're 95% more likely to achieve your goal by having a coach. So these days I have a coach for everything. I have a parenting coach. When I need support, I'm going to go talk to someone about that for my child. When I need help writing a book, I have a coach for that. Like all the areas, to me, coaching is a hack, right? Here's what you want. Here's where you are. What's in between? We'll find someone who knows how to do what you do, whether it's a coach or a consultant, and they'll help you get there much faster.
You certainly gave us some great tips. Any final thoughts, Ursula?
Yeah. Final thoughts. I always love to say this to our clients, like it's never too late. I feel like I run into so many people who feel like, oh, I'm in my 40s or my 30s or whatever it is, of my 50s, my 80s, my hundreds. And I feel like it's too late for something. It's too late to start that business or write that book. And the truth is, it's never too late. Now is the perfect time to start that venture.
Ursula Menchez, entrepreneur, business strategist, sales expert, and best-selling author. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thank all of you for watching the Small Business Show exclusively on ASBN.com and now streaming on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Shyann Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you loved what you heard, be sure to leave a review on iTunes so I know what you like and can create content that guides you to up-level your business even more. If you want more strategic business tips, follow me on social media. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and you can visit my website at www.ursulainc.co. I love being on this journey with you and can't wait to connect with you on the next episode. In the meantime, make this your most epic month yet.